Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer, and today we'll be taking a look at the CURT Premium Hanging Style Bike Rack on our 2019 Dodge Journey. So this bike rack is going to be a great way for you to carry around a lot of different bikes of different shapes and sizes without having to spend a lot of money. You can get this as a 4 or the 5 bike version. Today we're going to be taking a look at the 4 bike version, but it's going to work the same as the 5. This is what I actually consider one of the most family-friendly hanging style bike racks. And why do I say that? Well, it has this unique tapered design where it makes it a lot easier for your smaller frames on your children's bikes. But even if you have the larger adult-sized bikes, that's fine too, because you have some adjustability here to take care of those larger frames. So we'll talk about those different specs and different measurements of this bike rack. We are going to focus on our Dodge Journey here today. That we can see what is the best fit for you, your different types of bikes, and your Dodge Journey. A major thing with this bike rack is customizing it for your own needs and your own different frames. For example, we saw how we move those cradles around. That's to see if you can make sure you can get that sway down on your bike. You're also going to get a cam buckle strap. I do recommend picking up another one if you are carrying around multiple bikes. You can find that right here at etrailer. That's going to help reduce the sway of the wheel. I do like how far apart our bike rack is from our vehicle anyways, because even though we swing this all the way around, we still don't make contact with our car. Now, our bike is held down by 3 points. So 1, 2, and 3 straps. Notice how we still have a little bit of sway with that 3rd strap engaged, but compare that sway with taking the strap out, and now we have a lot more. So you can see how important that one is. Let's take the rest of the straps out by pulling on them and then releasing the bike. Once you have those released, you can then grab your bike, bring them through the cradles. You can see here on the closer together cradles how much space you have between the frame. Very helpful. We'll just continue onwards, and then we're ready to go for a bike ride. With the bike off, we get to take a closer look at the bike rack itself. So we have these cradles. I talked about how you can move them back and forth or around in order to fit those different frames. We have these rubber straps. It takes a little bit of muscle to get them into the tabs, but that can also be a good thing because then you determine the fit on your bike's frame. Pro tip is please put those straps into their tabs even when your bike is not on there. That way they're not flying around as you drive around and they last a bit longer. This has a weight capacity of 180 pounds for the 4 bike version and 225 pounds for the 5 bike version. That's actually a bit more than most of your hanging racks, going for an average about 45 pounds per bike. Now if you have extra heavy electric bikes, probably don't want a hanging rack. We do have platform rack options that would be great for those, like the CURT Transfer might be a good option for you. Now let's talk about our distance apart for our cradles. It's going to be about 5 inches for our cradles. You have a further apart distance from your wider ones to your tapered ones. And if you have the 5 bike version, it's going to look exactly like this, but with a 5th cradle on the tapered edge. So this with a weight capacity of about 180 or 225 is helpful for multiple bikes. Just make sure you keep within your actual tongue weight capacity on your vehicle. The length added to the back of our vehicle is going to be from the bumper to the end of the rack by these nice red reflectors, and that sits at about 40 inches of length. This is going to be a measurement to keep in mind when you're backing into your garage or trying to park into a tight spot, because along with the ability to carry a lot of bikes, you also have a lot of clearance you need to think about. And if that is taking up too much space and you are unable to load this up into your garage, or you just want to ride around town and not take your bikes off just yet, you can fold these arms down. So you're going to have this clip over here. Take off that clip. That'll allow you to take off this pin, hold on to it so it doesn't swing back, and then pop that pin right back into that hole. That's going to secure your arms into place. And don't forget to put the clip just to secure that. Now, let's take some measurements to see the difference that makes. Closest point is going to be from our anchor point for our cable lock to the bumper. That sits at about 5¼ inches of clearance. Plenty of clearance there. Length now added to the back of our Dodge Journey. It's going to be from the bumper to the end of the shank, and that's going to be about 12½ inches. So big difference compared to when this was folded up. You'll definitely want it in this position when you're just planning on driving around town. But what is it like living with a bike rack behind your vehicle all the time? Well, notice the way that this sits up there. It's right where your windshield wipers are, so it's not taking up the view of your rear window. Your taillights are obviously visible. Now this does kind of cover your license plate and your backup camera, which is centered in the back of your car, so that may be something you're going to have to think about. Also, if you want to open up your hatch, you will not be able to do so with your bikes on. But with your bikes off, you can actually tilt this bike rack away. So it's going to be a little bit of a process, but I'll guide you through it. So you start with this knob over here. Just loosen it a little bit because this is what's holding your mast up and keeping that pin and clip in place. So with that loose, you can take this clip out. Just pull that out of that pinhole and then remove this pin. Just let that one drop. Then you can lift up on this lever, and then your bike rack is going to drop down to a tilt. And now, let's see, we definitely have access to our hatch. Look at all that space between our door and our bike rack, meaning we can get into there, grab whatever we need, whether it's our waters, our helmets, our backpacks. Then once we got them, close that door, bring this back up, and make sure to tighten it down in the secured position before you drive away. So this has a 2-inch shank, so make sure you have that 2-inch hitch receiver. This pops right into that hitch receiver, and you have an anti-rattle bolt and a clip. You can get this upgraded to a locking hitch bolt if you want, but you have a clip to start. So that anti-rattle bolt is going to use a 3/4 inch socket like what I have here. We have extras here at etrailer if you want to add one to your cart to keep inside your vehicle. So this tightens down on the bike rack. And with that in place, you can do a demonstration as I shake our bike back and forth. Notice how I'm really just moving the vehicle at this point. If you notice some movement of your bike rack, double check this mast over here. If that's not tightened down, you may get a little bit of movement there, but that shows how you get pretty much smoother ride for your bikes overall because you don't have extra rattle from an improper fit. So my personal thoughts about this bike rack is this is a great pairing with the Dodge Journey, especially if you're using this as a family car, or if you have those smaller bikes that you just want an affordable way to carry around. This with the tapered design makes it awesome for those smaller frames. Now if you're looking for more premium features though, you may want to check out the Yakima back road that has the spacing further apart, so you're less likely to have the bikes sway into each other. That's still going to be a hanging style rack. This was a look at the CURT Premium Hanging Rack for your 2019 Dodge Journey.